Why, if you mean as much to me as you think you do, would I do something that would cause you more pain and suffering than anything else in the world? But he won't hurt me with those words. I know him. I know him better than I know anyone else in the world. Because you hate me, Lucius, I whisper. But all the same, you can't stand being without me. You murdered my parents just to keep me alive, even though you knew that to do so would cause me pain beyond imagination, and cement my hatred of you forever. You came after me at the burrow, and stabbed me before I could escape from you. You hate me because I'm a Muggle-born. But most of all, you hate me because because of what you feel towards me. Even last night, you tried to kill me before you could. His hand flies across my face, slapping my head back with the force of the slap. I taste blood in my mouth as tears come to my eyes again. But he hasn't finished yet. He grips hard at my hand, at my arm, and twists it up my back. I sink my teeth into my lip as I turn, trying to block the pain, but the other hand twists in my hair and pulls my head up. And then we are still. My head is pulled back, and I can feel his breathing on my exposed neck. You will not ever speak of what happened. Ever again. Do you understand me? His whisper is hot in my ear. I feel tears of agony ease out of my eyes, and I nod my head. His grip on my arm loosens slightly, but he holds on to the hair on my. But his hold on my hair is still. Oh my God! He grips onto my arm, loosens slightly, but holds onto my hair still, holding me close to him, far too close. His breathing is fast and heavy on my shoulder. I close my eyes. I can smell him, feel him. He lets out his breath in a rush and pushes me forward away from him. I spin around. His face is perfectly still, his eyes flickering dangerously. It will never happen again, he says quietly. Never. It was a mistake, and one which I regret. If you so much as whisper a mention of it again, I shall have you tortured until you cannot even remember your own name. I mean it, Mudblood. If you ever speak of that grievous error in judgment, I will make sure that you live to regret it for every moment of every day. The cold, hate-filled expression on his face tells me that I should have no doubt that he really means it. But something he said sticks in my mind. Have me tortured? I say quietly. He gives a mirthless smile. Yes, I shall have you tortured. I am sure that my son would be only too happy to oblige me. Fury builds up inside me, stealing my nerves. Oh yes, I say shakily, and that way Draco can finally believe that there's nothing going on between us, won't he? But that's not the only reason you won't torture me yourself. I know you, Lucius, you won't torture me because... You won't torture me yourself because you can't afford to allow yourself that risk, can you? Not because you have any moral qualm about it, but because you know what it could lead to. After all, yesterday you crucifixed me before you in a heartbeat. Literally just said, don't mention her, I'll kill you. And he's just like, you did that before you, blah, blah, blah. Sorry. In a heartbeat, he's pointing his wand at me, a muscle twitching in his cheek. I told you never to mention it again! He says furiously, and by God you will! Do as you're told this time! I swallow sharply and I force myself to carry on, because this has to be said now. There's no other time I'll be angry enough to say it. If that's what you want, then after today, I'll never mention it again, I murmur. But first you will listen to what I have to say. What happened, happened, And if you act like it didn't, all you like, then it won't change a thing. Perhaps you could obliviate me and wipe your own memory while you're at it. You could remove every trace of evidence that last night ever existed. I'm on dangerous ground here, but his face is perfectly calm, as if there's a long silence, as if he's long since considered and discarded the possibility. But I know that you won't, I say quietly. Because you know that it won't change the fact that you came here last night for only one thing. And you finally got what you wanted. And that might sicken you, but it can't change the fact that last night happened because you wanted it to. In case you've forgotten, I asked you to stop over and over again, but you wouldn't, would you? His mouth thins out, his face setting into a cold marble mask of fury, as he manages to keep his voice steady as he speaks. You speak with such certainty, my little... He stops himself, his words drying up on his tongue. Your little mudblood, Lucius? I ask, my voice so quiet, barely audible. That takes on a whole new meaning now, doesn't it? I feel a huge cut tear across the side of my cheek, and I gasp and my head snaps back. And as I look at him again, I see him advancing towards me, his wand raised. Insolent! Whore! He murmurs viciously. Crucio! The flames and ice and bolts of lightning smash through me, and acid is dissolving my skin, and dissolving my sin. And saws are tearing through my bones and muscles, and it's pain beyond imagination, beyond endurance. Beyond endurance. The curse lifts away from me, and I'm lying on the floor, my forehead pressed into the ground. I shakily lift my head, looking up at it from under my hair, staring down at me with a look of utmost hatred. You are nothing to me, he whispers, before he turns shakily, swiftly over to the door. Without looking back at me once, he leaves the room, slamming the door and locking it behind him. I lower my head onto the ground again, my body shaking with silent sobs. I shouldn't let his words hurt me. He shouldn't be able to have this effect on me. I loathe myself for how he has the ability to make me... Oh my god, I'm at the end of this chapter. Sorry. How he has the ability to make me this way. Only 5 little words. I can't be the new person I've become. I can't allow myself to be this new figure he's fashioned me as. I am no longer Hermione Granger. I am now only Mudblood. Who was the girl I once was? Hermione Granger believed that some good in everyone. Hermione Granger was good, and brave, and the brightest witch of her age. Hermione Granger. Hermione Granger. It will say Mudblood on my tombstone.